So am I the only one that thinks that this is a little fishy? I'm like 80% sure that these motherfuckers killed their son. And if it was an accident, if it was like a tragedy, then they really just don't care. They move past it so quick. They seem like they just really don't care. It's just, okay, am I the only one? Here we go. Where is it? There's so many things wrong with this.
It may seem like a shocking and disturbing image. A 16-year-old boy, his hands bound to his body.
So the way he liked it. He liked his arms bound like this.
It's just the way he liked it. He liked his arms bound like this. So, straight out of the box, just sounds just super innocent, super not guilty. Just, okay, continue.
And he would typically put his hands down in his pants.
We wouldn't bound Sam up. We weren't tying Sam up.
We wouldn't bound Sam up, okay? We wouldn't tie Sam. Okay, so hold on. What was that, though?
So the way he liked it. He liked his arms bound like this.
We wouldn't bound Sam up.
So the way he liked it. He liked his arms bound like this.
We weren't tying Sam.
He liked it like that. He liked being bound and tied up. We wouldn't tie or bound Sam up. Just like literally back to back. We used to tie him up, but he liked it. We would never tie him up.
Sam!
Their son Sam had severe autism, was nonverbal, and had the mental capacity of a 2-year-old.
Sam knew his name. He knew the word no.
They're talking about him like he's a cat. They're talking about him. She doesn't look heartbroken. She doesn't she's just, yeah, he could say no, before the accident. He can't really say anything now because, he's dead, but he could, when he was alive, he could say no. He knew his name. They're like acting, am I the only one that thinks she's a little indifferent to the situation? But it gets so much worse. Just wait.
This whole video shows him enjoying swimming lessons. Last March, his dad, Professor Timothy...
Okay, so he went to swimming lessons. He knows how to swim. Oh, but he just liked to swim with his arms bound. It was a normal thing, okay? It wasn't a perfect setup for disaster for the situation to just unfold. He liked to swim with his arms bound, okay? And it's not like we would ever leave an autistic bound up child alone in the water. We're smarter than that, okay? So what happened then?
Science. Sam was left to play outdoors at their home outside Grand Rapids, Michigan. He says he woke up his wife Michelle, a nurse who worked the night shift, and told her Sam was outside.
And woke me up, and I fell back asleep. Tim thought I was up to supervise Sam so he could go back to work. We would never leave Sam unattended.
First of all, we would never leave Sam unattended. I mean, we did. And he died. And I'm pretty much smiling about it. She's like laughing. She's like saying like it's such an oopsie daisy. She's like, well, yeah, that night he woke me up and he said, hey, our son's, tied up, bound, and autistic in the backyard in the pool, and I'm going to go walk off. So you take care of him, I said to my sleeping wife as I left. And she's just like, oh, well, yeah, I remember him kind of saying it as I was asleep in a daze. And then I didn't get up or but it's not like we ever would have left him unattended. What? So continue.
The above-ground pool in the backyard was covered for the winter. Sam, his hands bound to his body, was playing on the cover when his 18-year-old sister Olivia came home.
He was just standing in the water. He wasn't making any noises. He wasn't screaming or he didn't look like he was in any pain of any sort.
I hate to laugh at this situation. I'm going to come back to serving the parents later. I just have to laugh at just how ridiculous this is. And I'm not even laughing at how ridiculous it is. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm just going to blow so many holes in the ship of lies that they've created. I'm just going to blow their lies to smithereens, okay? Because it's just so ridiculous. Do I even have to analyze every little thing about how ridiculous it is? Because, okay, what's the story? That he was swimming in the backyard and they just left him unattended and he's not allowed to be unattended? Is that the story? Because they keep saying oh yeah, I was watching him, but then I just left and I told my wife, who was asleep or not there, I said, you go take care of him. And And then the kids saw him in the backyard. Like his sister's like, oh, yeah, he's in the backyard unattended. I mean, I'm not going to go attend to him. And yeah, I know he has his hands tied to him, and he's like in a pool or whatever, and he's autistic and shouldn't be left unattended. But everybody's just passing him by, like watching him, like what? Were they just seeing him drown? And then they get like, hey, Timmy's drowning in the backyard. Like, is anybody to take care of it? And everybody just ignores it, because that kind of sounds like what the story actually was or something. Because they keep just like, she's like, oh yeah, I see him just standing in the water. It's like, okay, so help him. So get him out of the water. If your parents aren't there, are you gonna help him? So okay, so one of the parents get him. Okay, so one of the siblings get him. Okay, so somebody help. Like, what has happened? How was this situation unfolding? I'm so confused. Am I the only one having like a little bit of an emotional heart attack, or like a little bit of a stroke about this? Am I the only one snowballing into a panic attack? Do I really have to point out this and how ridiculous this is? And then we would never leave Sam unattended. She acts like it was this just oops. She acts like she left her fucking soda on top of the fucking car and drove off. Like, oh, well, you know, of course I wanted the soda, and I sort of remember putting it there, and then I remember driving off, and I remember it fell off, and oops, you know, I guess, you know, no, there's always next time. It's literally how she's telling the story.
The above-ground pool in the backyard was covered for the winter. Sam, his hands bound to his body, was playing on the cover when his 18-year-old sister Olivia came home.
He was just standing in the water. He wasn't making any, like, noises. He wasn't screaming.
So is he alive at that point? That's such a good question, right? And how come the mom is standing like, she literally is in the position like she's about to stop her from saying something? The mom is literally has her foot on the brakes of her daughter right now. She's like so afraid that her daughter's gonna spill the beans on the whole, yeah, we kind of just let him drown thing. Her mom literally has her hand there, and she's like stopping her, like from, she's a human sensor barrier. Like her whole posture is like, now darling, you know, don't say anything more than we have to. you know, he was standing, okay, yeah, he was standing in the pool, okay, yeah, no more clutch. Tiffany, remember what we agreed on, okay? We don't want you to have an outside backyard pool accident either, you know what I mean? That's literally her posture and everything, so continue.
Like, he didn't look like he was in any pain of any sort.
She's like censoring what she's gonna. Doesn't look like he's in any pain of any sort. Okay, so you saw him wading in the water, and you're like, okay, he likes his hands tied to him. He should be monitored while he's swimming. But I'm just gonna leave him there because he doesn't look actively in pain. Okay, cool, yeah, so if he's swimming, he shouldn't actively be in pain, but he should still be being watched? I mean, like, what? I don't understand the story.
His younger sister came home. She saw Sam in the frigid pool and texted her dad this photo.
Yeah, so did he need help at this point? Because I'm imagining the answer is probably yes. And so she just... So this is now the fourth person to come by and be like, he's in the pool unattended. And she just takes a picture of him. Like, maybe she was trying to help by taking a picture of him. Or maybe they weren't. Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's see.
The coach replied with this text. Would you make sure Freak is okay? His mom's still asleep.
Okay, they confirmed that they know the mom is asleep. That's points for this family. They're winning left and right. Would you make sure Freak is okay? Okay, so maybe they were sort of trying to keep an eye on him. Maybe. Continue, I guess.
Coach says Freak was just a term of endearment.
And I certainly would never consider Sam that as a freak in a literal sense.
They're like, hey, did you murder your son? Because we kind of have this whole neglect thing going on, and they're painting a picture of, like, you know, neglect. And then we've, you know, and then, like, there's word on the street that you called your son a freak? Or referred to him as a freak? And, like maybe you were annoyed by him, and, like, oh, it'd be cool if he just, like, went away one day, like, and you used to, like, refer to him as a freak or something? And he's like, I would never call my son a freak, okay? I am the father of a disabled child. I would never refer to my son as a freak. They show him a text message. Make sure Freak's okay. He's like, okay, so we actually just used to call him that as a friendly, funny little nickname, okay? That's obviously a joke, okay? We would never call him that in the literal sense. We joked around and we called him the freak. Because, he's a family freak, okay? He's the autistic one of the family. He knows he's a freak, okay? We just used to call him that for fun, okay? It's like, oh, God, you guys look so guilty. Jesus Christ.
Next was a nightmare.
My daughter woke me up and said, Mom, Sam's in the pool. I had my nightie on.
Yeah, Sam's in the pool. Hey, yeah, remember? Because why wouldn't he be? So Sam's still in the pool, okay? Did you? Okay, so, Jesus fucking Christ. Don't you have to, like, I'm so confused. Continue.
And jumped into the pool and said, Sam, come on, get out of the pool. And his fingers were yellow.
Jesus fucking Christ. She literally just did this. And then Sam was in the pool. And then I saw that his fingers were yellow. This bitch. She's like, oh yeah, I forgot that I neglected my son, and how could this accident have happened? Oh, he died? Oh, oops. I guess the family's just gonna have to move on. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, let's just forget his name, and we'll forget this ever happened. And what do you mean neglecting? Oh, it was an accident. Why were his hands bound to him? Well, that's just the way that he liked it. It's nothing that has to do with us. He naturally just died. And I guess we're just gonna have to move on and not ask any questions.
Paramedics were unable to revive Sam, and Coates
Oh, sucks. The parents are just like, oh, you couldn't revive him? Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah, take him away. I'm sorry. Yeah. I guess I'm just going to have to never think about this ever again. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oops. I'm sorry. Yeah. It obviously wasn't us. It was obviously just a terrible accident. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Oops.
pled not guilty.
Now they want to take my husband away and put him in jail for that.
So now, not only is my son dead, but the government wants to take my husband too, for no reason. Like, they're saying that, like, oh, his hands were bound to him, and oh, he drowned in the backyard, and oh, a child neglect, and I don't see any of that. I just see the government wanting to take my husband for no reason. Why would they want to take my husband for no reason? Why would they want to make me unhappy and take my husband? The one thing I have in this world that makes me happy. My kid, he can go, but my husband... Okay, I'm really coming down to what I have left, It's just, why would they try to take this from me? I can only lose so much.
The family insists that Sam's death was a terrible accident.
We insist that it was a terrible accident, okay? Nobody has to go to jail or court, or nobody has to investigate, okay? It was a terrible accident. He liked his hands bound to him while he was swimming, okay? And he didn't need to be watched while he was swimming no-handedly and autistic, okay? He was our grown freak boy, and we all loved him, and it's a tragedy he's gone. Like, what? Jesus Christ.
To be portrayed as an uncaring father and somebody that negligent and wasn't watching him, this is so unfair.
To be portrayed as a negligent father after I literally neglected him to death is unfair to me. How do you think I feel being called a neglected father when I just had a son die from neglect? Okay? I think that it's super rude that I'm going through this tragedy, okay? And people have the audacity to say that I'm responsible for his death because I neglected him, because I should have been keeping an eye on him. Okay, well, obviously I'm going through a lot right now. So that's rude to me to just, insist that I would ever have something to do with this. Super rude, okay? Because, yeah, we all miss him and love him so much. So it's rude to just insist that we would ever bound his hands to him and just, let him swim in the back. It was obviously a horrible tragedy, and it was an accident, and it shouldn't be investigated, and it was just such a natural thing, and he was so autistic, he shouldn't have been swimming, but we let him be a free spirit, and he's gone now, so oops, and we're sorry. That's literally, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, I miss him too.
Oh, I know, I miss him too. That's literally what they said. They're looking at this little fucker. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I miss him too. Oh, yeah, isn't that terrible? Isn't that a terrible accident? Yeah, I miss him too. Oh, look at him. Look at that little freak boy. Look at that little freak boy. Yeah, I miss him too. Yeah. Yeah, remember when you used to say, "Why are you bounding my hands to me?" and why are you leaving me out in the pool like this? Yeah, I miss him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, super rude that they tried to blame that on me. I mean, it's so, like, the fact that they would say that I neglected my child is just totally unrealistic. Okay? So, I don't know what the fuck that was about. Like, what? Is anybody, am I the only one? Like, what? But I do want to say, I don't know if they killed their son or not. I don't know. I like to think that there was like an actual investigation, and if the parents were anything involved, that they would be held accountable. I'm just joking around because I thought the story was so ridiculous and they just seemed so suspicious. But I don't know if they did it or not. I mean, it sort of seems like it. I mean, in my mind, it's kind of a weird, story. And it kind of seems like the parents bullied him. I mean, like, they called him a freak, like, whether that's a term of endearment or not, I mean, they called him a freak. They, like, took that picture of, like, looking at that picture of him in the water, it actually, like, makes me really sad. It, like, kind of breaks my heart because I feel like they were super mean to him. I feel like they bullied him. And whether it was neglect or murder or whatever, I mean, it definitely was neglect. You know what I mean? They definitely should have been on their fucking shit and on the ball. And, maybe, having a disabled child was hard. So, maybe they just wanted to, get rid of him. But it's like, I don't know, it's so ridiculous. And I could understand, the difficulties of having a disabled child. But you're kind of in it, though. You can't just give up. You can't just pull the cord. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for that kid. It's a tragedy, for sure, I feel bad for the parents. I don't mean to insinuate that they, because I don't know them. And it's just a terrible situation all around. But I do feel like there's a little bit of neglect. And it's a sad story, I really feel for that kid. Like I said, I look at that picture of him in the water and it breaks my heart. And I feel like they're really mean to him. And it makes me really sad. I don't know why I get that feeling, but I just feel like they were mean to him. And yeah, it makes me really sad. But, yeah, anyways. Have a good one. Be nice to each other, Life's a trip. Don't kill anybody, Just chill. Have a good time and, deuces.